It only took them 3 weeks, though, to realize that there was something a little bit different about that little boy. He wasn't your average 3-week-old, as you call it. They noticed there was something a little bit different about his eyes. And so they took me to the doctor. I remember going to Children's Hospital in Denver many times as a child, but I didn't remember this specific incident. My dad had to tell me about it, because I was only 3 weeks old. They took me to a doctor, his name was Dr. Smart. But it turned out that he was pretty much Dr. Stupid. Because that day he told my parents 3 things. He said, Landan was born with congenital rod cone dystrophy. Now for those of us who don't speak deep, what that means is he can't see. They said, Landan will never be normal. He will never read or write. And he will never amount to anything. So they told my parents. That was Dr. Smart. Now see, both my parents are very different people. They have completely opposite personalities. My mom is one of the sweetest people that you could ever meet. She has a heart for everyone that she interacts with, and she loves her children. And as a child, that was no different for me. It's all about what I hear and about what I feel. And I remember as a child, I could hear my mom as she was rocking me cry. And I could feel her teardrops as they fell off of her face onto my face. Because she was worried about the future of her child. She was worried whether or not I'd be successful. She was worried if I would ever amount to anything. See, my mom wasn't given a very good outlook on my life by Dr. Smart. But then there was my dad who said, Landan, Dr. Smart is Dr. Stupid. You can do anything that you set your mind to if you believe in yourself. He's always told me, son, hard work is the key to success. And as long as you're courageous and determined, and you set your mind to it, you can amount to anything that you want to. You can make any dream come true. That's my dad's perspective on it. And ladies and gentlemen, I'm sure thankful that I listened to what my dad had to say, because he was right. See, we each face challenges in our lives. My dad told me, though, pretty much every part of my life, that I had to accept that challenge. I had to learn to laugh about it, laugh at my challenges, make fun of it, realize that it wasn't going to go away, and just cope with it. Take it with a grain of salt. Each person in this room has a challenge that we're facing. Maybe it's a problem at home with our parents. Maybe it's that we're struggling in school with a certain subject. Maybe we weren't accepted into band or choir. Maybe we didn't win our favorite activity in FFA. Maybe we're having trouble performing on a sports team. Whatever that challenge may be for us, we certainly all have things that we have to overcome. But what would it look like for us if we accepted that we each have challenges, that our challenges weren't going to go away, that we were going to wake up tomorrow, and yes, we were going to be faced with challenges yet again. See, life is full of challenges, just like those wet floor signs. They keep popping up in front of us. No matter how many times we kick them out of our road, they always seem to keep reappearing, whether we like it or not. Now, my perspective is that there are 3 types of challenges that we face. We face those challenges that are like wet floor signs. They're pretty easy to overcome. We just kick them out of the way. Those are the challenges like, what to wear? How do I get to a certain location? Or, what do I have for breakfast? And then there's that next type of challenge. We're walking down the street with our friends, not paying any attention, and boom, we run into a fire hydrant with our knee. Now see, those challenges hurt a little bit more, but they're still pretty easy to overcome. We can either step over them, or we can just back up, reevaluate the situation, and walk around it. Those are the challenges like doing homework, doing well on a test, performing well on a team, impressing other people with the abilities and talents that we've been given. But then, there's that final type of challenge. We're coming out of Walmart, not paying any attention at all, thinking about what we bought, all the good things that we're going to take home, and then boom, we run into a concrete pillar. Now see, concrete pillars are the challenges that are the most difficult to overcome. They stop us in our tracks. They hurt the most. They make us step back and think. Sometimes we don't think that we can overcome concrete pillars. Concrete pillars are those challenges in our lives, like losing a loved one, having parents that get divorced, failing at something, not achieving a dream that we have the first time that we try to achieve it. But if we accept the fact that we have challenges, and the family members, I'm here to say that we can overcome each of those types of challenges. We can overcome those wet floor signs. We can overcome those fire hydrants. We can overcome those concrete pillars as long as we accept that we have challenges. Now, all this talk about challenges reminds me of a story about whenever I was in 3rd grade. Anybody enjoy 3rd grade in this room?
Heck yeah.
It was a pretty sweet year, but for me there was a lot of confusion going on because in math, you did not see that. In math, I was being told that no, Landon, that is not a capital X, that is a multiplication sign. And in writing class, we were learning this new style of writing, something called cursive. Yeah, I wanted to curse it, but I wasn't allowed to in school. So it's easy to see with all this confusion why recess was my favorite activity, my favorite class of the day. And in 3rd grade, I had 2 best friends, Michael and Guy. At recess, it was always the same routine. We'd head out to the playground, all excited, ready to blow off some of that energy that we had, tired of sitting in the classroom learning about math and writing and reading. And we'd go out to the basketball court, where we would begin to break rocks. And we like to break rocks because rocks are shiny inside, and even the blind kid could see that they were shiny, and it fascinated me. So we'd spend about 10 minutes breaking rocks, looking inside, shiny. And then, inevitably, a teacher would walk over and be like, "You guys need to knock that out. You're going to put somebody's eye out with that. You guys just need to knock it out and play safe." What did we do? We didn't listen. We just kept breaking rocks. And then we would get worried because the teacher would come over a second time, and we would leave the basketball court and head for our next favorite destination, the Clatter Bridge. Now, the Clatter Bridge was this big wooden structure that was painted red, kind of like a ship deck, and it had all these really cool things coming off of it. It had a big slide, and it had multiple fire poles, and different things that you could climb. My friends and I thought it was great because there was this one fire pole that went clear through the middle of the Clatter Bridge, and we could hold onto the fire pole and dig with our right foot, going round and round and round, digging and digging, bigger and bigger holes. And we were convinced this one time in 3rd grade that we were going to dig clear to China because we had that hole so large that we thought we were just going to completely go through the earth. But the problem was, at recess, when the 5th graders would come out, we were in class. So they would go over to our hole, and they'd like to torment us, and so they would kick dirt in our hole and completely ruin all the work that we had worked so hard for. So every recess, we'd have to go out and dig it out again and again. I remember this one Thursday afternoon. We had dug out the hole, and we were exhausted, so we sat down on the edge of the hole. Michael was sitting across from me, Guy was to my right, and we were pretty pumped because we were about to embark on a 3-day weekend away from school. And we were excited because we didn't have to eat that nasty cafeteria food. We weren't going to have to sit in class again and learn about any math or any writing until Monday morning. 3-day weekend, here we come. That's what our attitude was. And I remember that day, I was so excited as I grabbed my backpack and headed for the bus. But little could I imagine as I took that step onto the bus for a trip home, that trip would take me into a different chapter of my life, a chapter that would forever change me. Friday went just as planned. My sister and I played, we watched TV, she beat me over the head with a hoe in the sandbox, which didn't go so well. But that night I was exhausted, and after a long day of play and fight, it was time to turn in for a well-deserved rest. As I crawled into my bunk bed, I heard my dad's voice coming from the living room. He said, "Landon, why don't you come out here and join your mother and I?" I'm like, oh my gosh, my sister told on me for getting back at her after she hit me over the head with a hoe. This is not going to be a good situation. So I walked out into the living room, and my dad got really serious. He said, "Landon, why don't you grab a seat on the couch with your mother and I? I've got to find this chair, I know it's here." Okay. So I sat down on the couch. My dad was on my right. My mom was on my left. My mom was completely silent. But my dad had a few words to share with me. He said, "Landon, earlier today, we got a call from Michael's dad." And I'm like, okay, Michael's fine. I saw him yesterday. And he's like, "Michael went home after school just like you did last night. He played his favorite sport, soccer. He had dinner, he watched a movie, and he went to bed." And then he got really serious. He said, in the middle of the night, Michael became very sick. He began to vomit uncontrollably, and his parents took him to the hospital. At the hospital, he was evaluated, and a decision was made that his condition was so critical that he had to be airlifted to a hospital in Denver. And Denver is 2 hours from my house. And then I remember what my dad said next. Landon, I'm sorry. Your best friend's brain swelled, and he died. I couldn't believe it. Monday morning, as I walked into the classroom, I knew that Michael wasn't going to be there. Michael wasn't going to be there to say the pledge with us. Michael wasn't going to be there to sit on the rectangular carpet in the back of the room where we always read poems. Michael wasn't going to be there to go through the torment of math or writing. And worst of all, Michael wasn't going to be there to dig that hole with us or break rocks at recess. I was heartbroken. I remember going to Michael's funeral. His dad gave his eulogy. As I sat there and listened to his father's words, he had a lot of good things to say about Michael. He said Michael was always one of those kids who took advantage of every opportunity that they'd been given. Michael cared for other people. He had a passion for life. He had a passion for his family, his friends, his school. As I sat there and listened to Michael's father share words about his beloved son, I began to think about my life. Now, see, up until 5th grade, I didn't have a very positive attitude about life. I was always that kid that asked the question, why me? Why am I the one that can't see someone that's standing 10 feet away? Why am I the one who can't see the chalkboard when I'm sitting in the front row of the classroom? Why am I the one that will never drive? Why am I the one that will never sink a three-point shot during a basketball game to become the local town hero? See, I was selfish. As I sat there and listened to Michael's dad's words, I realized that I hadn't taken time in my life to appreciate the many good things that I'd been given. I hadn't taken time to appreciate that my family loved me, that I had tons of friends like Michael at school who cared about me, that I went to school in the best country in the world, the United States of America. I hadn't taken time to appreciate. Family members, that day I learned a lesson about life. We all have challenges that we go through. We all have things that hurt us from time to time, and things that we don't want to happen. But the important thing is that we take time to appreciate the things that we do enjoy, the things that we are fortunate to have in our lives. What would it be like for us each and every morning if we woke up and we were going to go out and appreciate the things that we have? What if we smiled at our classmates? What if we talked to that student at lunch that had no one else? What if we worked hard on our homework and strived for better grades? What if we put just a little bit more effort into our sports team? What if we told our parents, thank you for loving us? What if every morning we were just thankful because we had the opportunity to wake up? Today, Michael did not wake up. Yesterday, Michael did not wake up. For the last few years, Michael has not woken up. But the good thing is we have. We have woken up. Even though we have challenges, we've woken up to many good things in our lives. Let's take time to appreciate it. See, in life, we each have dreams. Some of us dream of becoming a farmer or rancher to help feed the world. Some of us dream of becoming a teacher, a coach, or even an engineer. For some of us, that dream is to wear a uniform of service in the United States military or to one day become the president. Whatever that dream may be, we each have one. But we can't let challenges stand in the way of achieving our dreams. See, we each have the ability to accomplish whatever it is that we dream, as long as we believe in ourselves and are courageously determined to make our dreams and aspirations realities. This evening, as we finish up our leadership workshops and head back to our schools, homes, and communities, let's challenge ourselves to take those left forces out of the way. Let's accept, let's appreciate, and let's believe in the power of us.